What up, JS Game Team here, coming at you with the Krawler deck profile. This is more of a budget version of Krawlers. Of course, this is meant for maybe your locals or something like that. You just want to play for fun, right? So we're just gonna jump right in. So at the start, it's just 3 spine. Spine is a man-eater bug. It pretty much just pops a monster on the field when it gets flipped up. Other than that, it has the ability to special summon 2 Crawlers if this face-up card on the field leaves due to a card effect. So pretty much like a Dark Hole, a Regeki, anything, as long as it's face up, it will activate and trigger. 3 Receptors. Receptor is the add. Pretty much all you're doing is you're adding whatever you want whenever this guy gets flipped up. Again, same effect as Spine with this special 2. It's 2 different names, just to be clear, though. 3 Galil. It pretty much just specials 1 from Grave. It's an extender. It's really good, though, because it can also special 1 from hand. So yeah, this thing just pretty much brings out more Crawlers. So it's really a good card. Then 3 Axion. This one pops spells and traps. Pretty much, it's good. You want to use Receptor to search maybe this one out, or any of these really. It matters what your situation is, but always keep that in mind that, this deck has a monster pop, spell trap pop, search, and special summon from Grave. So we're going to get into our 2 of monsters here. We got 2 World Legacy World Armors. This thing pretty much specials when something flips up. It has to be a normal flip, though. You can't just use a card effect for it. When you flip summon, this card will special itself. Pretty much what it does is it adds a World Legacy card. So that's pretty good. You have to use this card as kind of, it's kind of another extender for bigger Link monsters. If you want to make boss monsters, this thing's kind of key card. So, yeah, I run 2 of it just to do the search. 1 Denrite. Denrite's just kind of there to ditch anything that's kind of, this thing just sends a monster from the field to the grave, from the deck to the graveyard. Sorry about that. I'm thinking of Spine for a second there. So this thing pretty much is a Foolish Burial. He just sends whatever you want. You used to be able to play Snow in this deck because this thing would just send it, but yeah, now you can't. So I put it down to 1. I used to have it at 2. And then we got 1 Ravener. This thing just puts 2 back into your hand, so you combo it with Denrite just to try to grab more cards, grab whatever you want pretty much. This is just kind of an extra piece to try to search. It's kind of like an extra receptor, but again, it's just not that amazing. So it's at 1. 1 World Legacy World Chalice. This does the same thing as World Armor if I banish it from my graveyard. So I use Denrite to send this if necessary, you know what I mean? But that's just kind of another option why Denrite's like at 1, right? Just put World Legacy World Chalice to 1 too, just to get 1 search if necessary. So that's why that's at 1. Now we move on to spells. We're in 3 World Legacy Survivor. Pretty much all this card does is you excavate 5 cards from your deck. So you just show 5 cards from your deck on the top of it, obviously. And then you get to add 1 Krawler or World Legacy card. And then the rest go to Grave. So this is kind of helpful, and that's why also World Chalice is kind of just at 1. You just send World Chalice pretty much if you accidentally draw it, or you just add one of these Crawlers. Everything kind of works out because all this stuff kind of combos well together. So, yeah, World Legacy Survivor is just really good that way. And then we get into the field. 3 World Legacy in Shadow. This is a key card of the deck. Like, it's important to try to get this card. It helps make extended plays because it special summons an insect monster from your deck, or a Krawler monster, not an insect. Too good if. A level 2 Krawler monster, pretty much. No, wait, a level 2 little insect monster. Sorry about that, jeez. Yeah, so this one pretty much just special summons more Crawlers from your hand to the field, pretty much. And It also has the ability that if a monster is destroyed by battle, instead, pretty much you get to send their monster also, as long as it's a flip effect monster, pretty much, though. So, yeah, all the crawlers are flips, so, it all works out. Um, 2 Pot of Desires. There's no gain, no loss, pretty much. You don't lose anything, and you don't gain too much off this card. But, again, it's just kind of there because, it's 2 cards in your hand. It pretty much, you don't really gain anything if you hit, like, a lot of the monsters. But, you do kind of gain a little, I guess, if you get something good. This card's just really chancy, of course. But, you can't play Extravagance because the extra deck kind of is important, too. So, 2 of them, obviously, and just kind of leaving it at that. 1 Monster Reborn, another extender pretty much, just to make another monster if, and 1 Regeki. Not a lot of people play Regeki in their decks, but you want to play Regeki, Dark Hole, something that just destroys the whole board if necessary. Of course, I have a Regeki, so I'm going to use a Regeki. But otherwise, use a Dark Hole, use anything that just wipes the board in any way, shape, or form. You can even do Interrupted Kaiju Slumber if you really want to. You can move a couple cards in this deck if you don't like what's in it. So we'll move on to traps, though, now. So we got 3 World Legacy Pawns. It's important to flip up your monsters, and this thing pretty much flips up your monsters during your opponent's turn, and can reset it by shuffling 1 card from your graveyard back into the deck. And that's a cost, though, to shuffle it back. So it's cost to shuffle back, and then you target 1 monster, and then you get to flip it back down. So you do get to recycle your deck no matter what. So, or your graveyard, pretty much, you get to put that back into your deck. So that's what makes this card just amazing, really. So, yeah. And then after that, we got 3 World Legacy Mind Meld. This is the best card in the whole deck. Pretty much what it does is it changes your opponent's monster effects to bounce one of your face-up Krawler monsters. So pretty much you get the Krawler's effect to special summon 2 monsters if this goes off, because pretty much what happens is that it becomes your opponent's effect. So that means your effect will go off because it is your opponent's effect now. It changes the effect. People might say, oh, it's this card that's making the bounce, but it counts as your opponent's card effect. So if you get what I'm saying, this thing just changes their effect. So that means you'll get your effect, pretty much. Okay, so we got 2 Quaking Mirror Forces. This card's kind of You can change it if you want. I kind of just main them first, and then I'll side them out later if they're not working. Like if there's just someone playing a more link-heavy deck, I'll just swap them out. This card's just to lock down your opponent, so then I can use the extra deck monsters to go for game, pretty much. And then we got also 2 Gozen Match. Everything's Earth except for the World Legacy cards, so you kind of want to link those off immediately, or just send them pretty much when you flip this up, because the Crawlers are just, those guys can just kind of control the board with the Spell Trap Pop, the Monster Pop, and also the fact that you can just reset these cards. Kind of just helps out. So Gozen Match is perfect. You can play Rivalry if you want, it still works. So yeah, that's a-okay too. 2 strikes. I want to stop summons of big monsters. Big monsters can be a problem, boss monsters especially. So, usually it's from the extra deck, so this card's just perfect. And 2 Scares. Scares just, again, to turbo the flip-ups. It just literally just flips up your monsters. If you want to go more in depth, you can look up the card, but this card flips up your monsters. It's just if you had Ghost Tricks, it does more, but it doesn't really matter. Solemn Warning, again, boss monster killer. And then we got 1 Crusadia Krawler. This is an extender. It's no big deal at all. It pretty much adds a World Legacy card if it's special summoned to a Link Monster Zone. A lot of decks right now kind of try to control how much monsters you have and stuff like that, so getting this off isn't too easy. So don't bother too much with it. It's just an extender, and if you get it off, you know, you get it off. And then last card of the deck is one Heavy Storm Duster. This is just, again, to turbo spell and trap hopping, but I already got Spine and stuff. And, well, I mean Axion. Axion's the spell and trap hopper. So I already got Axion, and you could put more of this in. I usually play 2 more in my side deck. I swap out the Quakings for this because usually I'm against Paleo Frogs or something like that, so upping that's like a-okay. It's cool that way. So we're gonna get into the extra deck now. For extra deck, it doesn't matter. You can put anything in. But I'll just show you what I kind of have for it. I don't have it complete because I just don't have it complete. So this is the main card. You have to play 3 of this no matter what. This is kind of a win condition, this Krawler. Pretty much it matters how many crawlers you have on the field. If you have 6, all your monsters can attack directly, so keep that in mind. If you have 4, you can, nothing can activate during the battle phase, so no one can evenly match you or anything like that. And if there are 2, all crawlers gain 300 attack and defense. So pretty much what the goal of this deck is to flip them down with Quaking and use Quillark and get 6 crawler monsters attack for game. I've done it a couple times, and it's not that hard. It really is not that hard at all. So yeah, this card's good. It leaves the field. All crawlers have the same effect, except for this one's not from deck. This is from grave. So pretty much brings back the 2 that you used for it. Of course, it has to be on the field, so if someone solemns this or anything like that, you don't get this effect. So keep that in mind too. Some people who are new to playing crawlers, they like to think that if someone solemns it, it counts as them going and stuff like that, but that's not the case. Also, a fact too is that if someone evenly matches your crawlers, they do not go off, even if they are face up, because they are now face down when they are banished. So yeah. 3 synopsis. Synopsis is good. Pretty much when it points to a monster that's a crawler, it can make 2 attacks. So this is a really good card. But only on monsters, I believe. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Because again, you can't yeah, you don't want to be attacking the life points twice, because that's kind of just cheating. 2 new Goros. New Goros pretty much just doubles battle damage on monsters again. These guys aren't that amazing. You cut some of these. I'd at least play 1 of each, like 1 of these 2. But, you know, I kind of just bump these things up to 3, because it's like, I'll just keep making crawlers, because just not a lot of earth monsters I really want to make that aren't crawlers, because I keep trying to go for the 6 monster kill. This is just kind of what you need for it. 1 proxy dragon, because destroying 1 on the other side is a-okay. Again, this is your own effect, so it won't trigger, like the crawler monster won't trigger, but it's still fine. You just want to prevent destruction if possible. 1 Reaper Docus. Use this to get rid of your boss guys, like World Legacy, all the World Legacy monsters, pretty much, because this is just 2 monsters. It's Earth, and then after that, usually I'd flip up Gozen after that. I just kind of want to get rid of the monster and maybe something else, and just kind of make something that points down sometimes. It matters what I have. Usually I can turbo the thing first thing, so or turbo the world armor first thing, so yeah, Reaper Docus is just fine. And then Topological Bomber Dragon. Crusadia Krawler works perfectly in that situation, because you'll special summon to where Bomber Dragon is. Yeah, that's kind of it for the extra deck, though. If you know what Bomber Dragon, or if you don't know what Bomber Dragon does, it just blows up your opponent's field and your field whenever you special summon something to where it points. So that's always an option, you know. It's just a 3k beater. This is not full, obviously, but pretty much what you can do is you want to try to do a boss kind of spam rank up kind of thing. Like, start extra linking pretty much into this. Yeah, you just want to get cards like that are generic, like Reaper-Docus, Proxy Dragon, maybe a Nightmare Unicorn. Any of the Nightmare cards, you can throw those in. Start trying to make bigger monsters, like whatever you have, you use pretty much that's big. But yeah, that's what I'd recommend. Otherwise, this is the Krawler deck profile, and yeah, hope you use it. Thanks, JS Game Team out.